vegetables. Not to be bold, controversial, and brave, but you have to eat them. We could all probably stand to have some more of them. But how? I'm getting a haircut in like 4 hours. This is not working for me right now. I know there are people out there who have always loved their vegetables, and I respect you, my celery and bell pepper munching 4-year-olds, but I was not one of you. I was an extremely picky eater growing up. I was coating green beans in ketchup and gagging them down for the duration of my childhood. In my late teens, I became what you could call a vegetarian who didn't eat vegetables. I sustained mostly on mac and cheese and scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs that I cooked within an inch of their life because eggs gave me the ick. It was like scrambled cardboard and shreddy cheese. And then when I went vegan, I was like, I'm kind of out of things that I eat here, aren't I? I think I'm going to have to learn how to cook, and I do think it's going to have to include vegetables. The time has come to find a way. And a decade later, I am excited to report I'm a huge vegetable guy now. There are still some that I just don't like. I'm a certified carrot hater. Big eggplant wants this channel dead. I may be the only person alive who doesn't like corn, but that's fine. I just don't eat them. You don't have to eat anything that you hate, but I do think it is worth nutritionally finding some vegetables you like and finding a way to include them in your diet that works for you. So we are going to go on a tour of vegetables today. A vegetable journey from hiding them to integrating them to celebrating them. And wherever you find yourself on the vegetable spectrum, it all counts as vegetables. If you're one of those people who naturally loves plain steamed vegetables and you talk down to my sauce users in the comments, we're going to have a problem before the cooking begins. One thing that helped me in my early years of learning how to cook was making commitments to vegetables. Vegetable vows, like this week, I'm going to have a green with lunch every day. This week, I'm going to try a new vegetable with dinner. I'm going to get Brussels sprouts. I'm going to find 3 recipes that include them, and I'm going to try them and see what I like. Give yourself a little creative framework. They don't have to be the thing that like sits in the fridge and antagonizes you as they slowly go bad. They can be something fun to try. My other recommendation is a compost bin. If you don't like the vegetable you tried, it does actually kind of ease the guilt to know that it's just going back to the earth to produce more of them. Okay, step 1, hiding vegetables. Perhaps you're not there yet on the flavor or the texture, but you want the nutrients. You want the fiber. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that no one's ever been fooled by cauliflower mashed potatoes, so I'm not going to do that to you. I think the best way to hide a vegetable is in a liquid that you already like. Pasta sauce, dressing, slop, soup. This can be something you make from scratch. This could be an existing liquid that you buy from the store. And I'm going to show you a variety of those things. Pasta sauce. This also doubles as a way to give store-bought pasta sauce some more oomph, and we love oomph around here. My favorite things to blend into store-bought sauce are any kind of squash, something more like a butternut if you want to thicken it and add flavor, something more like a zucchini if you want the original sauce to remain relatively unchanged. I think roasted peppers of any kind work great here. I think wilted spinach works great here. Whatever you choose, just roast it with a little seasoning that goes with the sauce and blend it up and mix it right in. If you have a more watery vegetable a la zucchini and you feel like it's making your sauce too watery, you can also add a little cornstarch to it. For my little example here, I got this non-dairy Alfredo from Primal Kitchen, and to my absolute horror, it like coagulated. So when I roasted up a whole yellow bell pepper and blended it in, not only did it give me added vegetable, but it fixed the texture of the sauce that horrified my sensibilities. It added a little brightness to an otherwise kind of odd, oily goop. Next, soup or slop. I made some coconut curry this week. She was delicious. It's got seitan, potatoes, cauliflower, and spinach. This was a meal prep situation, but I didn't add the spinach when I cooked it right away. I don't really love how already cooked, refrigerated, and then reheated spinach tastes. Can't explain that one, but I don't even notice it if I'm adding it in fresh. So come mealtime, I will scoop out some of my meal prepped curry. I will wilt some spinach, blend it up with some broth, add it to the pot, add some freshly cooked rice, and suddenly we have a whole handful of greens in our curry that do not change its texture or flavor. And this works really across the entire slop category. If you did this in chili, you wouldn't notice it. It might make your chili a little green, but it will still taste like chili first and foremost. So if I'm having something that's not vegetable forward, I will just do this. Take a big handful of spinach, wilt it, and blend it in. You can do this with mashed potatoes. You can do this with a box of mac and cheese. I was going to do that today, but I got home late last night and ate my box of mac and cheese without blending vegetables into it. Sorry. And you can also do it with a salad dressing. Speaking of, if you've been around Ye Olde channel for a while, you know I don't really believe in store-bought salad dressing. Not because of the chemicals, but because mine is better, watch the sauce video, you'll never go back. But regardless, whether you are making your own dressing or buying dressing, you can blend a vegetable into it. I especially recommend any herb and any kind of roasted pepper. This week I've blended a bunch of jalapenos into my dressing, and I will show you what I am putting it on in the next section. Integration. All right, you've roasted, you've blended, you're getting acquainted with some new flavors. Let's make some meals with them. This is wisdom I gleaned many moons ago eating the lettuce cups at P.F. Chang's. A great way to integrate a new food is to chop it very tiny and pair it with something else you already like that is also chopped very small. That is how mushrooms entered my life, in a teeny tiny fashion in a lettuce cup with tofu, and now I like them big. 3 examples. First, the aforementioned jalapeno salad dressing. What's that going on? I've got some marinated tempeh and chickpeas. I've got some couscous. Where's the vegetable, you're wondering? We're going to add her now. If you're ever cooking anything on a pot, it's using a little bit of water. Wait till there is just a tiny little bit of water left, and take some spinach that you have chopped teeny tiny and steam it right on in the pot. And then as you get used to the texture of it, you don't even have to chop it anymore. You're going to see this meal again in the next video, and it's because I eat it all the time. Extremely easy way to get all the food groups in one. Next, fall salad. Let's say you're conceptually down with broccoli and Brussels sprouts, but a big hunk of them is not yet your journey. Chop them small and put them with other things you like. This salad contains the daring chicken strips, sweet potato, chickpeas, red onion, pecans. That doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth. Pecan is what I want to say. Brussels sprouts and broccoli, all roasted up in a delicious, mapley, sweet, smoky blend of flavors, which is also very important in enjoying your vegetables. Season them in a way that you like. And also farro is in here, but you don't cook that by roasting it. You cook that by boiling it. So I mixed it in after. And all of that and a delicious tahini maple mustard sauce. This is the Mr. Fart meal, and that's okay. I accept that. But the thing to know is that what we have here texturally is basically a salsa, a fall salsa. A falsa. It is packed with vegetables, and the broccoli is not less nutritious because it is small and in a sauce. Third example, sushi bowl, cold veggies. And before you go commenting that a cucumber is a fruit, just know that I don't care. This is a vegetable contextually because I'm having it with dinner. I prepped a big side salad with cucumber, radish, and green onion, and a little soy sauce, sesame oil, rice vinegar dressing. Again, it's giving salsa. Come mealtime, a great way to increase your enjoyment of raw vegetables is to add avocado to the mix. Another great way to add vegetables is fermented things and pickled things. I've got pickled ginger in here. I've got kimchi in here. I know kimchi doesn't go in a sushi bowl, but I like it. Plus some rice and tofu to round out the meal. These last 2 meals, the fall salad and the sushi bowl, that's what I ate for lunch and dinner all week. And in doing that, basically got through like 2 enormous meal prepped bowls of veggies. I know meal prep is not everyone's vibe, but if they have already been cooked, if you already have a sauce, if they're already integrated into a meal that you know is going to taste good, you are more likely to have them than if you come home to that broccoli stock and you're like, what if I didn't have it? Further vegetable integrations. Vegetables are a great topping. I don't necessarily conceptualize a sandwich or a taco as like a vegetable forward meal, but when I'm having those things, I am usually having a bunch of veggies on top. And some vegetables that I don't really like in other contexts, I really like in a sandwich context. Big chunk of summer tomato on big sandwich, very important to me. If we look at this here little BLT, there's more L and T than there is B. I guess this is sort of more of a BATKA, bacon, arugula, tomato, crouch, avocado. A sandwich can be whatever you want it to be, and it can have a lot of vegetables on it. And as always, I really do think like a box of mac and cheese is an excellent testing ground for these things. Teeny tiny broccoli and mac and cheese, teeny tiny Brussels sprouts and mac and cheese. Integrate. And finally, celebration. We found some vegetables that we like. Let's make them the star. Often when I'm trying to come up with what I want to cook that week, I'll be really in the mood for one sort of specific ingredient, and then I'll build a whole meal around it. In the classic American meal, this is often meat, but it doesn't have to be. I used to love the show The Next Food Network Star, which Guy Fieri won in 2006. That's how they found him. I don't know if people know that, but another contestant on that show a few years later, her name was Nikki Dinky. Now, I will never forget her. Her whole shtick was meat on the side. She didn't win, but that phrase won my heart. Vegetables can be the star if you treat them as such. And you don't need to be a vegan or a vegetarian to do that. And today, Our star is cabbage. Not only is it delicious, but it also makes every meal big. And I'm going to make something with it that has a name that's going to spawn annoying people. Cabbage steaks. Holding space for you to say, that's not a steak. If you want to eat steak, just eat steak. Why do you have to call it steak? Let it out. It's 2009. Epic bacon. I will immediately mute you like I do the others. Cabbage slab. We'll call it a cabbage slab. If you want to celebrate a vegetable, a nice slow roast is often the best way. I love my air fryer deeply. I use it like 3 times a day, but that thing is about speed. But a nice slow roast where you fill your home with the scent of your vegetable, that's celebratory. So to celebrate cabbage, we're going to cut a big steak of it, a slab, a hunk, whatever we want to call it. I've melted a little butter and gochujang together and basted it upon my cabbage. A little salt, of course, and slow roasted her. And on the side of the cabbage slab, we have a Beyond sausage and some potatoes to round out the meal. Celebrating a vegetable is when you switch from going, what vegetable do I want on the side from my protein to what protein do I want on the side of my vegetable? If there's a cooking technique that you really like to use on your protein, you can take that same excitement, you can take that same technique, and you can use it on a vegetable. Please tell me about your favorite vegetables and preparations of them, or ways you have found to hide them that work for you. Especially as it's getting colder, all I want to do is like roast and make my whole house smell like rosemary. So let's discuss vegetables amongst ourselves. And also while we're here, it's been painted. We're getting close. Okay, bye.